So Nathan Gorman is apparently hounding Ricky Hatton for a showdown against Daniel Dubois. I'm going to quote Ricky Hatton here. He says he has sparred with him when they were on the GB squad, and Nathan's words, not mine, are that he never lost a round to him. He is itching for that fight, but I tell him he has got to give it time. We're heading in the right direction with Frank. I have told Nathan, don't worry about Daniel, just concentrate on yourself, keep improving and adding to your fan base. He's a lovely kid, not arrogant. He just has confidence in his own ability to what he can do if he gets the chance to fight Dubois. Believe you me, he can't wait to go to Brentwood, which you would call Daniel's backyard, and put on a show. When Nathan and I fancy the fight, it is not being disrespectful to Daniel. I don't BS telltales or feel the need to publicize my fighter. Daniel showed a lot of improvement against Kevin Johnson, a good punch volume and stamina, but I'd be surprised if Johnson threw 50 punches in the fight, and that is no exaggeration. You have to pat Daniel on the back, and he showed improvement, but we're up for the fight, and it is now in the hands of Frank. So those are the words of Ricky Hatton, who is, what is he, the manager/trainer of Nathan Gorman? You guys clarify for me if you know. It's definitely a fight I want to see. I think it's a great fight. I'd rather see it sooner than later. You know, the way I feel when it comes to these young prospects is you're going to get a much better fight out of them when you make them fight each other when they are prospects. If you wait until they're both champions, there's a very good chance that the fight won't live up to the hype. Often happens. But when you put them in the ring, when they've both got a lot to prove, they're both young, they're both full of testosterone and got a chip on their shoulder, that's usually when you get the best fight out of them. A classic example I always cite is Joshua versus Dylan White. I was saying long before that fight happened that fight was going to be a good fight. People were calling me stupid and silly and saying I don't know nothing about boxing and that Joshua was going to walk through the guy. And I was like, nope. That's going to be a good fight. Why? Because of the stage they're at in their careers and the fact they had bad blood and the fact they're both young guys with chips on their shoulders and everything to prove, particularly Dylan White, and also the mentality of White going into that fight. I knew White's mentality. I knew he wasn't just somebody who was going to go in there and lay down, you know? So with Dubois and Gorman, there's needle there too. They have history again. Going back to the amateur days when they sparred, when Gorman is adamant that he got the better of the spars. When Gorman has been saying that he even shared a room with Daniel Dubois and it was like talking to a wall because Dubois just don't have a personality, according to Nathan Gorman. So there does appear to be spite there, and it appears to me as though Nathan Gorman is a little resentful of the fact that Daniel Dubois is being talked about more than he is. I do think there's some resentment there. And that's good for us, the boxing fans, because the more needle there is in this rivalry, I think the better the fight is going to be, the more intense the fight is going to be, as long as it happens sooner rather than later. That's what I'll say. I hope that they can get this fight done for, let's say, next year. I mean, boy, I'd hope to get it done this year, but I don't think that's realistic, is it? Next year, hopefully, we'll see Dubois versus Gorman in the first half of the year rather than the second half. All right. And will it happen? Frank Warren is making a lot of moves, which, how can I describe them? He's forcing certain things. That's what I would say about Frank Warren. He's forcing certain things to happen rather than letting it flow. In life, in general, sometimes when you're forcing an issue, when you're trying to swim against the current, things don't often work out well. But when you go with the flow, that's when new opportunities present themselves and things start going better when you go with the flow. You know, some of you may understand what I'm talking about. For some of you, it's going to go right over your heads because it sounds too abstract. But it's like in boxing, you know, when you try and force your work and you try and look for the knockout, that's when it won't come. But when you relax and just let your work flow and get into your rhythm, that's when the knockout's going to come. In fact, the knockout might surprise you as much as it surprises your opponent when you hit him with a knockout shot. Because it just came out of nowhere whilst you were in your flow. And Frank Warren, I think, is struggling to get his flow back. And where I'm going with this is he wants to keep these two fighters apart until the perfect time, like when they've both got some kind of title or something. That's what he wants to do. But to me, it feels like the fight needs to happen now. I think you need to strike while the iron is hot now, or very soon, within the next 6 months, next 6 to 8 months. I think you need the fight to happen. I think that's when it would be best for it to happen. For me, the flow of the situation dictates that it should happen sooner rather than later. That's my perception. You know, that's my intuition. That's how I feel. That fight needs to happen sooner rather than later. Just the same way as Dillian Whyte versus Anthony Joshua. That fight needed to happen then, and it did. And it worked out for the best for the both of them. It happening when it did. And I think this is the set. It needs to happen now. Not down the line or all this other stuff. Let's do it now in the next 6 to 8 months. I think it should happen. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. It's happening, I'm out. Join me on Patreon. I upload a minimum of 2 podcasts every single week, covering a wide variety of controversial topics, as well as live stream Q&A sessions. Take a look on screen right now at some of the podcasts I've produced so far. For just $3 a month, the equivalent of about £2 a month, you get access to all my new podcasts and my entire back catalogue of past podcasts, including my popular Confessions of a Nightclub Bouncer series. You can listen on your computer or on your smartphone or tablet by downloading the Patreon app from the Google Play Store or the App Store for free. The Patreon app also allows you to download each podcast in MP3. For less than the price of a cup of coffee, you get access to dozens of hours of exclusive content. It's easy to sign up, there's no contract, and you can cancel at any time. So come and join our community of free and critical thinkers by signing up with me here on Patreon today.